You're not single because love is missing. You're single because the version of you who can hold that love hasn't fully arrived yet. The moment you become the person who is ready, everything you've been searching for starts searching for you. Marriage is not a destination you stumble upon like a lost road. It is not luck, not timing, not even coincidence. Marriage is a reflection, a mirror. It reveals who you have become, not what you have found. And most people spend years chasing the idea of love without realizing the truth. Love is not something you chase. It is something you align with. The kind of partner you desire is already tied to a version of you that either exists or is waiting to be built. So when you say, I can't find the right person, what you're really saying is, I haven't fully become the person who attracts them yet. This is where everything shifts. This is where power returns to you. Because now, it's no longer about searching the world, it's about transforming within. The world has trained you to believe that love is external, that somewhere out there, someone is missing from your life, and once you find them, everything will be complete. But look deeper. Have you ever noticed how two people can meet the same person, and one experiences magic while the other experiences nothing? It's not the person, it's the state of being. Your inner world determines your outer relationships. If you carry insecurity, you will attract situations that test it. If you carry peace, you will attract someone who doesn't disturb it. Marriage, then, is not about finding someone perfect. It is about becoming someone aligned. And alignment is an inside job. You don't prepare for marriage by dreaming about weddings. You prepare for marriage by mastering yourself, your emotions, your reactions, your fears, your habits. These are the real foundations of a lasting relationship. Because when the excitement fades, what remains is who you are. And if you haven't built strength within, no partner can compensate for that. People often think love will fix them. But love doesn't fix, it reveals. It magnifies what is already inside you. If you are whole, love will expand that wholeness. If you are broken, love will expose those cracks. So the question is not, when will I get married? The real question is, who am I becoming while I wait? The waiting period is not punishment. It is preparation. And most people waste it. They complain, they compare, they feel left behind. But those who understand the deeper truth use this time to evolve. They refine their mindset. They strengthen their self-worth. They detach from desperation, because desperation repels what peace attracts. You cannot attract a stable, loving partner while operating from fear of being alone. You cannot experience deep connection if you are disconnected from yourself. The energy you carry becomes the relationship you experience. So instead of asking, why hasn't it happened yet? Ask, what inside me still needs growth? There is a silent transformation that must happen before the right relationship enters your life. You must stop needing someone to complete you and start living as someone who is already complete. This doesn't mean you don't desire companionship. It means your happiness is not dependent on it. When you reach this state, something powerful happens. You stop chasing. You stop settling. You stop accepting less than what aligns with your worth. And suddenly, the dynamic shifts. Because now, you are no longer operating from lack, you are operating from abundance. And abundance attracts abundance. Most people think readiness for marriage is about age, finances, or social pressure. But true readiness is energetic. It's about emotional maturity. Can you communicate without ego? Can you love without control? Can you stay grounded when things don't go your way? These are the real tests. Because marriage is not just about sharing love, it's about handling challenges together. And if you haven't learned to handle yourself, how will you handle a partnership? The relationship you want requires a version of you that is disciplined, aware, and intentional. And that version is built, not found. There is also something deeper, your self-concept. The way you see yourself determines the kind of love you allow. If deep down you believe you are not enough, you will tolerate relationships that reflect that belief. You will accept inconsistency, confusion, and emotional distance because it feels familiar. But when you shift your self-concept, when you truly believe you are worthy of stable, respectful, and genuine love, your standards rise automatically. You no longer entertain what doesn't align. And this is when your reality begins to change, because you are no longer attracting from wounds, but from worth. Think about it. The partner you dream of, someone loyal, confident, emotionally intelligent, they are also looking for someone. And that someone must match their energy. If you are not yet aligned with that level, you won't cross paths in a meaningful way. Not because it's impossible, but because it's not yet a match. Life doesn't deny you what you want. It delays what you're not ready to sustain. So, instead of feeling rejected by timing, understand it. Timing is protection. It ensures that when something arrives, you are capable of keeping it. The most attractive thing you can become is not perfect, it is peaceful. Peace is rare. Peace is magnetic. When you are at peace with yourself, you don't chase validation, you don't force connections, you don't rush outcomes. And this calm confidence becomes your power. It draws people in without effort. Because people are not just attracted to looks or status, they are attracted to energy. And energy cannot be faked. It is felt. So when you cultivate inner stability, you naturally attract someone who values it. Let go of the idea that marriage will suddenly change your life. Marriage doesn't create happiness, it amplifies what's already there. If you are fulfilled, it becomes a beautiful addition. If you are empty, it becomes a burden. This is why so many relationships fail, not because love wasn't present, but because readiness was missing. They entered something they were not prepared to sustain. And the result was pain. But you don't have to repeat that cycle. You can choose differently. You can choose growth over impatience. Becoming ready for marriage is not about becoming someone else. It's about becoming more of your true self. Removing the fears, the doubts, the limiting beliefs that have been holding you back. It's about standing in your worth so firmly that you no longer question if you deserve love, you know it. And from that knowing, you attract differently. You move differently. You choose differently. Because now, you are not searching for someone to save you. You are ready to build something real. So stop asking, where is my person? Start asking, am I becoming the person they would recognize as home? Because the truth is simple, but powerful. You don't find marriage. You become ready for it. You don't attract what you wish for in words. You attract what you consistently embody in your identity. The energy you carry silently shapes the people who enter your life. If you walk with doubt, you invite uncertainty. If you live with confidence, you draw in clarity. This is not magic. It is alignment. Your habits, your thoughts, your emotional patterns, all of them create a signal. And that signal is constantly calling in experiences that match it. So, if you want a different kind of love, you must first become a different kind of person. Not by pretending, but by transforming. Because what you are internally will always reflect externally. Change the signal, and the response changes automatically. The world doesn't give you what you beg for. It mirrors what you are. And when you finally become aligned with what you desire, you won't have to chase it anymore. It will recognize you. Marriage is not a treasure hidden somewhere waiting to be discovered one lucky day. It is a reflection of your readiness, your growth, and your emotional depth. People often believe that once they find the right person, everything will fall into place. But the truth is, even the right person cannot stay in the wrong environment. If you have not built stability within yourself, no relationship can feel secure. If you haven't learned patience, understanding, and self-control, love will feel like a struggle instead of peace. Becoming ready means refining your character, your mindset, and your ability to give without losing yourself. It means becoming someone who can nurture a relationship, not just desire one. Because the right person doesn't complete your life, they complement the life you've already built. And that life must be strong enough to hold them. Your inner world is the blueprint of your outer reality, especially in relationships. The way you think, feel, and perceive yourself becomes the foundation of how others treat you. If you carry unresolved fears, you will notice situations that trigger them. If you feel unworthy, you will accept less than you deserve. But when your inner world is calm, secure, and grounded, your relationships begin to reflect that same energy. You don't have to force respect. It comes naturally. You don't have to chase attention. It flows towards you. This is because people respond to what you believe about yourself. Even if you never say it out loud, your silence speaks through your energy. So instead of trying to control others, focus on mastering your inner state, because once that is aligned, everything outside begins to follow. There is a quiet truth that many people avoid. Desperation pushes away the very love you crave. When you feel like you need someone to complete you, your energy becomes heavy, demanding, and unstable. It creates pressure instead of peace. And people can feel that, even if they don't understand it. But when you shift into self-worth, everything changes. You no longer seek validation, you naturally embody it. You don't cling, you connect. You don't chase, you attract. Because self-worth is not loud, it is steady. It doesn't beg for attention. It commands respect without effort. And the moment you truly value yourself, you stop accepting anything that doesn't match that value. Love then becomes something you choose, not something you fear losing. And that is where real attraction begins. What feels like waiting is often the most important phase of your transformation. It may seem like nothing is happening, but everything is being prepared. This time is not empty. It is full of lessons, growth, and quiet evolution. It is where you learn patience, where you understand yourself, where you build strength that no relationship can replace. Many people rush through this phase, trying to escape it, not realizing they are skipping the very process that prepares them for something real. But those who use this time wisely come out different, more grounded, more aware, more aligned. And when the opportunity for love finally arrives, they are not overwhelmed by it, they are ready for it. Because they didn't waste their waiting, they used it. A relationship cannot be stronger than the individuals within it. If you have not learned to manage your emotions, communicate honestly, and stay centered during challenges, even the best connection will feel unstable. Love is not just about affection, it is about responsibility. It requires awareness, patience, and the ability to grow through discomfort. Emotional maturity is what keeps a relationship alive when feelings fluctuate. It allows you to understand instead of react, to listen instead of assume, to support instead of control. Without it, small problems become big conflicts. But with it, even big problems become manageable. So before expecting a healthy relationship, become a healthy individual. Because what you bring into a relationship determines what it becomes. There is a powerful shift that happens when you no longer feel incomplete on your own. When you reach a point where your happiness is not dependent on someone else, you become free. Free from fear, free from pressure, free from settling. And in that freedom, you become magnetic. Because now you are not trying to fill a void, you are simply sharing your fullness. This kind of energy is rare, and it attracts people who are also whole. It creates connections based on mutual growth, not dependency. And these are the relationships that last, because they are built on strength, not need. When you feel complete within yourself, love becomes something you enjoy, not something you rely on. And that is when the right connection naturally finds its way to you.